speaker. This introduction is really hard to read and not say it in a rhapsodic way. Stop, children! What's that sound? Everybody look! What's going down? This is not from any project. It's an impromptu speech for 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Where Are the Leaders? Please help me welcome Megan Kopka.
Tear down this wall. Does that just kind of plunk, fall down? If I say, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, it frames it to a time period in 1987 where Reagan challenged Mr. Gorbachev in our Cold War to end communism in Germany. He was referring to the wall that divided West Berlin from East Berlin. It wasn't supposed to go the way that it did. There was a protest actually of about 5 million people, 5 million East Germans that had showed up 5 days prior to the wall coming down. Mr. Gorbachev's response was he was going to allow people the next day to go ahead and apply for visas for travel. But that's not what happened. So many people found out about the visas that they all showed up at the wall and no orders to shoot or to open the gates occurred. And so millions of people tore down the wall. I feel like that's a small step in what's going on now. There's a controversy that I'm not sure if you're aware of, and reading Facebook the other day, I saw someone very upset about $400 million being sent to the Ukraine. So although that's shocking, what about $2.5 million and a statue donation to the Sons of the Confederacy of North Carolina from UNC Chapel Hill and the donation of Silent Sam? A $2.5 million monetary gift was awarded to protect Silent Sam and give him a place of prominence equal to his statue and pedestal on UNC's campus. I remember in August of 2018, remembering hearing about the toppling of Silent Sam, which is a Confederate memorial that stood on UNC's campus, and my response was, wow, it's like we're pulling down Stalin and heads are gonna fall. So $2.5 million in addition to a donation to a nonprofit called the Sons of Confederacy seems like a lot of money. But rest assured, the $2.5 million is not taxpayer dollars. It's merely from UNC's interest off of their endowment fund, and now the students are calling for the alumni to stop funding. That seems fair. But I wonder what's going to happen. Are we going to have another mass protest? And what can we do? And so I question, where are the leaders? In the last year, the Board of Governors have made this agreement that apparently took 7 minutes in a judge's hand to sign off on. So over the past year, these deals have been made without anyone's knowledge behind closed doors. That does not sit well with me. This is our state. This is statues to me, much like in my childhood, remembering a wall being torn down, are little pieces all over the South that represent a wall that needs to be discussed. Probably since the beginning of man, there has been some sort of power struggle over having another man, but we have a short history, thank God. One of the books that I have started is The Warmth of Other Suns, which is about the Great Migration. You can see where I am in this book, and it's enthralling. And it talks about the end of slavery, but after the end of slavery, the continuing lynching and harassment and laws that ensued, and the erection of statues that occurred from the gifts from the Daughters of the Confederacy to our great states in the South to I think, intimidate and promote racism. Although that's, thank God, not their mission statement on Wikipedia. Their, meaning the Sons of the Confederacy. The other book that I got turned on to was a book that my daughter just read in her sociology class, and it's called When They Call You a Terrorist, which is a little bit more written by a woman who's, I'm assuming, probably my age, and she speaks very well about her brother's life. My brother is a white male, and this life is certainly different than the life that I grew up seeing. So let's bring that to Wilmington. If you ride down on the corner of Market and 3rd Street, there's a new blue statue made out to General Major Joseph McNeil. We now have 3rd Street named as our commemorate way, and it was dedicated September 17th, 2019. It almost looks like a real estate sign. It's 2 poles and just kind of like a highway. Does anyone know who Major General Joseph McNeil is? Not just a decorated American Air Force Major General, retired. He was one of 4 people that sat in Greensboro's Woolworths at the whites-only counter. So he has a prominent place in American history in his efforts to end racism, and luckily, he had a full and long life. 3rd Street is dedicated from pretty much the oars to our Confederate statue. So not by design necessarily, but the state only owns the road up to Market Street, where there's a Confederate statue that faces from old southern Wilmington to the north. Again, prominent placement. And it sits right next to the George Davis statue, which I have a hard time with because that was our Attorney General, when I say our, the Attorney General of the Confederate States of the South. And I just abhor the writing on that statue and cannot believe that nothing has happened in Wilmington. The statue reads, "His wisdom illustrated the principles of law and equity. His eloquence commanded the admiration of his peers, beloved for his stainless integrity. His memory dwells in the hearts of his people, shining in pure excellence of virtue and refinement. He exemplified with dignity and simplicity, with gentle courtesy and Christian faith, the true heart of chivalry in Southern manhood." It's just, for me, very hard to understand what's going on. And Wilmington dedicated that road behind closed doors and with a small article in the paper. So how do you feel? What do you think? And what are we going to do? Probably nothing until 4 dead are in Ohio.